Really unsure what just happened there. Hi guys, so sorry, don't know what happened. You can say hi to Pop. What a goof. I ran inside, I said, my screen just went black. I don't know what happened. Hi, Kristen. I don't know what happened.
I'm back.
My screen just went black. I'm so sorry, guys.
That was so crazy. It's because you were saying good stuff. And I've had so many technical issues today. Like right before amazing thing is about to happen in a conversation, the phone like dies or something happens. So I'm just saying. But wait, hold on. I want to put the beauty filter on too. I mean, not that you have it on. I need to.
Oh no, I
have
definitely do. I love it.
Your skin is. Oh, okay, cool. I'm just like, why would you not? You know.
I didn't even know you could do these during lives. What a riot.
I didn't eat. Well, actually, I did. I just figured it out. So cool. I'm like, what am I saying? Yes, I do know that. But you know what you said that I think is so good?
What?
Is you go. Because your mom was like, well, doesn't that give you motivation? Like, doesn't the kind of criticism and the hate give you motivation to want to prove them wrong? And you were like, no, actually it doesn't. And I was like, whoa, that's really good, because you can either do one of two things usually, and that is the criticism defeats you or it propels you. But if the criticism propels you, it's usually propelling you from a place of fear and trying to prove a thing, which is never a place that we want to operate from. So I think that is freaking incredible that you were like,
and you know,
you're like, well,
think of it that way. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, because you know, I definitely when people said mean things to me, I was like, oh heck no, I'm gonna prove you wrong. And so in one sense it helped because that was part of my fuel, but in the other sense it kind of set me up to be disappointed. It set me up to perform and to have pressure.
Exactly.
And so so I love that you're like, well, yeah, like obviously I'm going to work out, I'm going to eat well, but I'm going to do it because I want to.
Because I would, regardless of if this had happened or not. This has given me an opportunity to talk about these things, but it's not going to change my heart or how I'm preparing for this point in my life. Yeah. Thank you.
So cool.
So for those of you who don't know, I am super excited. I mentioned at the beginning, very, very beginning of the live, that I used to do Kristen's Devo that she came out with in 2014. But she has an awesome new book coming out that I'm really excited to read. I have a ton of travel coming up with Miss Universe stuff and across the country and the U.S. and the world.
So exciting.
So that's exciting. But did you ever receive any sort of hate talking back a point about that you felt like you had to prove wrong or anything like that? Heaven forbid you did. I'm just unsure.
Yes, definitely. I mean, a lot of it came before Miss USA. Like when I was 13, I was in a science class and my teacher called on me to answer a question in front of everyone, and I got it wrong. And everyone laughed and kind of scoffed. And my teacher goes, "It's okay. You're just a dumb blonde." Yeah. And I was so embarrassed, so humiliated. Like that was like one of those moments where I was like, okay, can you make my superpower invisibility so I can just melt into the floor and like die, you know? Exactly. Because it's like one thing when it's another student, it's like, all right, basic peer pressure, like bullying. It's another thing when it's supposed to be an authority figure who protects you.
That you can trust and you can go to.
And they actually, right. And instead they actually expose you and almost like throw you to the wolves, you know?
Horrible.
And so in that moment, I was like, I mean, I went home and cried for sure. But then after that, I was like, I'm going to prove her wrong. I'm going to prove to anyone who ever thinks I'm a dumb blonde that they're wrong. I'm going to prove to myself that I'm smart. And I'm going to do it by making straight A's and ultimately by nailing the final question at Miss USA.
So it carried on with you. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, but that kind of like was what I was saying, like to your point. And this is what I still kind of am dealing with, this whole pressure to prove thing.
We all do at times. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's partly natural. I think it's partly personality type. I think it's partly like trauma, like from your childhood or ever being like humiliated. You're like, oh no, like, you're going to know that the people need to know that I'm okay, that I'm good, that I got it all together, that my life is perfect. No one needs to know that I'm weak. Like, I'm strong,
and
you know?
Even on social media,
yeah.
the encouraging quotes, or on Pinterest, whatever you choose to find those on, so many of them say, you know, approach this day like Elle Woods did when, what's his name?
She went to law school, or right.
Or do it so that he wishes he had never broken up with you. Or just like those ridiculous quotes that are supposed to be inspiring and motivating, and they probably are, but not for the right reasons, because yes. But that's our world.
Yes, that is
very world
100%. That is so good, Sarah. I love that. Is such a great point, because it's like it kind of puts that fire in you to be like, I'll show you what you're missing.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, but to do it from that position of like anger or resentment or hurt.
Yeah.
It's not really to our ultimate advantage.
Exactly. Or
it's more for like a
purpose by any means. Absolutely not. Mm-hmm.
So
but
true.
I won't lie. Some
of my God.
Definitely make me want to turn on like some "We Run the World" girls song and like go on the treadmill. Okay, you guys, is Kristen frozen for you guys? Oh, there she is. She's back.
I'm back. My Wi-Fi is spotty. But anyways, I was just saying that I think it can be good, like kind of short-term motivation, like for your daily, where it like picks you up. You're like, oh, I need to like get out of my rut, pull it together, go to the gym, you know, whatever it is, you know,
right.
Eat well, stop drinking, get out of my like self-loathing.
Exactly.
So yeah. Oh, well, I'm so glad we had this conversation today, Sarah. Do you have like any last thoughts? Oh, I just think, to get back to your point about cheerleader and critic thing, because I saw someone asked a question where they were like, do you think that sometimes your family members can be sometimes your biggest bullies? And I do think that's true. And I don't think that's what you were saying about your mom at all. But
I think my point about my mom, because I have made two comments. So if you're referring to the one in my video, I just said that to those watching, I hope that we can take this icky experience of hate and turn it to channeling and intentionally deciding every moment that we see something on social media or in the day-to-day when you're at lunch at work or when you're at lunch at school and you see someone alone, like choosing to be kind and being each other's cheerleaders and supporting our successes of each other. Like my 2018 sisters, the States, have been amazing in supporting me since the day that I won. And that's huge, you guys, because we were talking about earlier, we choose to go head to head to compete for this title. No matter what you do, it's still a competition. And these women have supported me, and I want to do the same for them. And you have to choose to do that every single day, rather than opening your social media and saying, oh, she's doing this as Miss USA. Well, I should have been that Miss USA. Absolutely not. They turn that off in their brain and choose to support and be a cheerleader rather than a critic. And that's what we all need to do. But the comment about my mom is that because she knows me so well and she wants the best for me, she is my biggest cheerleader and my toughest critic, trying to encourage me to do even better because she sees that for me.
Right. Because you do need those people in your life who are going to be like, I love you, you're so great, blah, blah, blah. But you do need someone who's going to be like, but listen, right. You got a blind spot, baby girl.
The truth.
You know, who's going to call it out.
Absolutely. The hard truth. Tough love.
Yes. But even just like, I love that we're talking about even just like dealing with critics, whether it's your family members, if y'all are dealing with family members who are bullies, like, I'm so sorry, that literally stinks and is the worst, because that's supposed to be your haven and your safe place. So I would just encourage you to actually create your own family in a sense where you're like, hey, let me identify like 1 to 5 people, if you're lucky enough to have 5, because that is very rare. That's a lot of people who really want the best for me, and you surround yourself with them. Let those people be your safe place. Let those people be your go-to.
And so if someone's watching that right now and listening to you and thinking, well, I don't have family, how am I supposed to know who to trust? Where do I find that community? What do you suggest?
I suggest starting with a prayer group or a Bible study. So if you're not already in one or a part of that, like, there's a church nearby. They have lots of community groups. Even if you are not a Christian, that is okay. You can join a community group of amazed people where you can at least start out with sharing like, hey, I need prayer for this, or I need encouragement in this. And you start out in those little ways where you safely let people in, like a little bit at a time, until you feel like you can go further into the trust and go further into the positive relationship.
That's where I would suggest you. That's where my head was, for sure.
That's good. And yeah, and I talk about that in my book, Sparkling with Positive Relationships, which you are so good at developing positive relationships. You went dark. You went darky. Oh, wait.
Did you cover the microphone?
Me back? Me?
Yeah. Did you get
sounds
quiet for everyone?
It does this when I am in a certain place in my room. All right, hold on.
Hello.
Hi.
A little better?
Can you hear me?
Kind of. Can you guys hear her?
Hola.
Nope.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
That's stupid. I can hear you good.
You're just very faint. That's okay.
All right. Okay.
Sort of.
Okay, great. I think I'm back. I love that your mom is like, I love you, D. Summers. That's your mom, right?
Yeah.
Or is it not? Oh, okay. I'm like, oh, wait, is it not? Okay. That's good. But yeah, I feel like, Sarah, you were so good at developing positive relationships, which I have not always been. So if anyone is on here and they're kind of like me and they're like, that's so scary and hard, and I actually am not even really interested, to be honest. What is kind of like a tip for you? Like, how do you do it?
How do I find positive relationships?
Yeah, and how do you like initiate it, and how do you sustain it?
Oh, absolutely. I think that's a great question. I learned really easy early on, in high school even, that it's absolutely quantity over quality. Blair just tuned in, and she's one of my quality. And one thing that I look for in my busy life is friends that are going to be able to pick up right where we left off, and encourage when we need it, and also have that tough love when we need it. But as far as finding that group and knowing who that is, especially for younger people, trust your gut. Hi, Dad. I'm moving inside because it's getting dark out there.
Because your mom just corrected you, Sarah.
Quality over quantity. Yes. What did I say? Oopsie. I said it the wrong way.
You said yeah.
I hope you all knew what I meant.
Thanks, Mom. What will we do without our moms?
Just finding who those people are, and if you're younger and people are advising you to If there are certain people you trust that are advising you that someone you want to befriend isn't truly kind, I would encourage you to consider that. Because I know for myself, when I was so young in high school, that I really tried to befriend, the cool people that everybody wanted to be friends with. That what? Mama Summers, 24 years old. She still helped me out.
What'd she say?
That's you. There you go.
She's
learning how to work live, you guys.
I love it. It's so cute. She's so
Anywho,
sweet.
When I was younger and trying to have quantity of friends, I wish that I had listened to my gut and listened to their rejections initially. But now it's all about having those people that you want to tell the exciting things to in your life, but also that you know are going to be there for you when you do have a week like I had last week.
That's so good.
And if that's long distance best friends, just people that are going to speak that truth to you, especially as Christians, having believers around you that are going to remind you of that ultimate truth in those times when haters are going to hate and you don't want to fall to that.
That's so good. I love
and making
that.
sure you talked about sustaining it too, cultivating those friendships, loving on them, making sure they sustain. I know I touched on being busy and being able to pick up where you left off, but I hope this encourages everyone, including myself, to go tell everyone, those people for you, that you love them and that you appreciate them, because that's another way, making sure that they know that you view them as one of those people in your life. Kristen left. Oh no. Do you guys have any specific questions about everything that happened last week? My phone is going to die. Oh no, Genesis. Thank you, love. If you guys have any questions about last week, just go ahead and comment them here, more about how I have been handling it, or who I've turned to, or just the message that I really wanted to get across. I want to start a conversation about body shaming and just terrible about everything going on, instead of just sweeping it under the rug and deleting comments and deleting and blocking people. Let's see, we got a question. How do you manage those hate comments? So originally, when it was just coming briefly in waves, strangely, I would just, if it was my personal page, if I felt compelled to, a lot of the time, you guys, they're like old men from who knows where. And in those cases, I delete their comments and I block them. But recently, it has been more overwhelming and more steady and more specific to my body. And I decided not to do that this time around, because I don't know that I physically could, because of how much it was happening. But I would just encourage you, if you're wondering how to handle your own hate comments, if you don't need to have social media because of your job and it is where the hate is coming from, go on a little cleanse. Delete those apps for a little while. Also, if you are being hated on by people that you don't know, don't be afraid to hit the block button. That's one piece of advice that Olivia Jordan gave me last week, or a couple weeks ago when all of this kind of started. And I think she's so right. How are you feeling after Sherry Hill and just overall feel of New York Fashion Week? Never say never to anything. However, I don't know that the model world is for me. My friend Blair that's on here right now, and I have a friend Bailey, and they're in the industry, and I completely support them, and we're all called to very different careers for different purposes. And New York Fashion Week, I had an amazing time. It was so fun, and I loved being on the runway, and it was neat. But we'll see where I go after this. The block mute button is a way of life. Yes, I love it. Kristen said her phone died. Oh no, let's see. I'm going to add her back in here so that we can at least say a proper goodbye, and God bless to all of you guys. What's another question? What's your favorite way of getting rid of unloaded stress? Ooh, hi, she's back.
Hi. Okay, you have to let me know if my sound works.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. Yay! Because I usually have to have my headphones plugged in because my daughter has thrown my phone down so many times. But I think because I have my charger in it, it's like working. So
sweet. Okay, we're good. Let's see. We have a good question here.
Didn't mean to interrupt you.
After everything happened, how do you feel about yourself? Oh, I love that. I actually feel stronger than I think I did last week, because this is something that I would never hope anybody would have to, kind of address. But I chose to address it. I called my manager at the Miss Universe organization office on Saturday morning, and I walked on Friday night, which is when the big wave of them started to come in. And I said, I don't want to delete them. I want to address them. And she supported me. And some people thought I was crazy and thought that I was going to receive even more hate for it, that I was weak, that I didn't have enough thick skin. But I feel strong for addressing it and proud of myself, because if even one girl was impacted positively by my video, I'm very glad. So thank you for that question.
You know what,
Kristen,
Sarah?
somebody asked how you handle unwanted stress.
Oh, Lord Jesus. That is a whole lie within itself.
I agree.
But what I just want to say to you, what you just said about addressing the comments, I'm so glad that you did, and I feel like it's actually super powerful, because like we as Miss USA's and people in general, but just in the Miss USA sisterhood, like we've all experienced the same thing that you have, but none of us have ever addressed it before. I was thinking about this like as I got on with you today, and I was like, it's so crazy. Like Sarah was the brave one. Like she's the one who like actually called it out, and she was like, excuse me, no, like that is rude. It's not allowed. It's mean, it's hateful. This is not acceptable. And honestly, it's quite archaic in how far we've come in our messaging on cyberbullying. It's like, are we really still doing this? Is this like actually a thing? Yeah, like during my year, like people called me a clapper, that talks about how I had a wide nose, that I was like vanilla, basic, not that pretty, not a head turner, looked like a sorority girl. All kinds of stuff. So
and you still remember those things right now. How sad is that?
Yeah, still remember it.
Because they matter. Words hurt. They do.
Yes. So, so I think it's really cool. I'm like so proud of you. I'm so happy you're Miss USA.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, yeah.
And you guys, how cool is that I just got an amazing compliment from someone that I have looked up to for years.
It's cool, Sarah, because it's like we're always supposed to kind of, I don't know, it's not like outdo is the word, like in the sense that you have come after me, like what, 9 years later, I hate even saying that number, but many years later, you've come after me, and it only makes sense that you would be more mature, that you would be stronger, that you would be more confident, that you would be wiser, because you've had the wisdom to look up to certain people, and to kind of follow the journey and be like, okay, what can I learn from them that they didn't know, so I can make sure I don't step into the same pitfalls,
Right. And that's one thing I asked you. I mean, even on my first phone call with you, was what's one thing you loved during your year that I should do again? And then what's something that you learned from that I shouldn't do?
Yeah. And that's just like wisdom, y'all, is asking questions and being inquisitive. So praise the Lord. Good example. Yeah. But to answer the question on how to handle unwanted stress, okay, honestly, I'm dealing with this right now. So I'm like in the middle of it, even trying to answer this question for myself.
And I think what the answer is kind of goes off what you just said, Sarah, how you were like, even if my video only helps one girl, that's what matters. So I think when it comes to unwanted stress, a lot of times stress comes from this pressure we put on ourselves to like please a bunch of people and for everyone to be happy with us and for everyone to think that we're like busy, because busy means that we're valuable. But if our goal is actually like, who's the one person I need to take care of today? Or at least letting that be your motivation rather than like all the people. It brings you into a place of like operating from just pure obedience from God and rest, because you're not worried about like the performance aspect and like doing a good job. You're just like, hey, I'm going to do my best within my capacity without compromising my peace. And I'm going to trust however God decides to position it. That's what I'm learning right now.
I love that. I have one last question, and then I gotta go eat a little dinner, you guys. I'm hungry.
Me too.
But,
yes.
So someone asked, ooh, what's this one? Well, the one that I really want you to answer for selfish reasons, where did it go? Is Kristen. Lucky Koo asks, Kristen, any advice to Sarah for Miss Universe coming up? Anything you wish that you had done that you think she should do? Like explore Thailand. What a joke. Now remind everyone where you competed.
The Bahamas.
Okay, yes.
So lucky. We're at the Atlantis Resort. Soup's fancy. Okay, so Sarah and I have had a one-off conversation about this. So I would say that my one piece of advice to give you is that you would believe the chance to win, go into it like, my goal is to be Miss Universe, and for you to not be intimidated by like the glamazons, like the glamazonian countries, like that seem to quote always win, but to be like, no, even though I might not be the trend or the pattern of what a Miss Universe is, if I can win Miss USA, I can win Miss Universe, and you're going to have that same winning mentality that you did at Miss USA, and you're going to do everything that it takes. You're going to do your absolute best and leave no doubt. So at least you'll never have any like regret. You'll never be like, oh, I wish I would have tried harder, or oh, I wish I would have like that like mindset the whole time. Just leave no doubt.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is what it's all about, you guys. This makes me so grateful to have people like Kristen, others too. I could name drop, but there are just so many that have been so helpful, and whatever happens, I'm excited.
Yeah, because you got the sparkle effect, and that is what wins.
I'm going to read your book before I go to Thailand.
Yay!
It comes out October 2nd?
October 2nd.
And I compete in mid-December, so I can easily have it done by then.
Oh, you totally can. It's very like digestible read. So yeah. I mean, you're gonna read it and be like, oh my gosh, like I totally could have written this. It's basically you in a book. Sarah wrote it.
I love it.
All right, Boo Boo. Well, I'm glad we got to talk today. Yes, you're a Christian.
Okay, I've got to address this. We've got people on here right now, and our whole live is talking about if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So you guys just shoo.
Shoot, I didn't even notice. It don't even catch. I'm like, oh, bye.
But we do have one last question for you. What is your book called?
Oh, is that from you?
No.
Oh.
It's from Kind Blue Lily 10.
Oh, I was like, thank you for that perfect setup, Sarah. It is called The Sparkle Effect. Step into the radiance of your true identity. And basically, you can pre-order it right now. I would love if you did. It's going to be out in 2 weeks, so if you pre-order it, It'll like mail to your house in the first week of the launch. And then you can join my private Facebook group called the Sparkle Effect Queens, where we do live coachings, release audio declarations, SubmitTheBomb.com. But I was going to show you the cover, but you can just go on my Insta and see it. Is that Mommy? Oh, you can buy it. The link is in my profile.
Before I hang up, I've had a couple comments of where's Dad and about Mama Summer's encouragement. So we all wanted to say goodbye from Nebraska. Dad! And we match. What a riot.
Goodbye.
What a riot.
Your dad is so cute.
Yes, they are so cute, and they've been so great for the last, 24 years, but also the last week of craziness.
Yeah, you have awesome.
So thank you so much.
Okay, I was gonna say you're gonna have some good home cooking tonight.
Your sound is going away.
Oh, okay. Well, we can just jump off.
What were you gonna say?
I said, are you gonna have some good home cooking tonight?
Yes. Family time.
Yay! All right, love you. Mwah.
Appreciate you. Love you too, sister.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everybody.